Chairman of the Human Rights and Inclusion Committee. As a preliminary matter, permit me to confirm that all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Bob Gamer.
Here.
Bill Graham.
Here.
Donna Hopkins.
Here.
Sally Cairns. David McKenna. David Mills. Paul Pollack. I can see Paul. He might be having some audio difficulty. Jorge Sanchez Salazar.
Present.
Kathy Sullivan Bradley. Eric Crane.
I am here.
Eileen Page.
Here.
And I do know Charlie Desmond and Lieutenant Rob Sullivan, as well as Pastor Douglas Voigt said they will be unable to join us today. This open meeting of the Denver Human Rights and Inclusion Committee is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12, 2020, due to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth due to the outbreak of the COVID-19 virus. In order to mitigate the transmission of the COVID-19 virus, we have been advised and directed by the Commonwealth to suspend public gathering, and as such, the governor's order suspends the requirement of the open meeting law to have all meetings in a publicly accessible physical location. Further, all members of public bodies are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. The order, which can be found posted with the agenda material for this meeting, allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely, so as long as reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with the deliberation of the meeting. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will not feature public comments. For this meeting, the Denver Human Rights and Inclusion Committee is convening remotely via the WebEx app, as posted on the town website, identifying how the public may join. Please note that this meeting is being recorded and that some attendees are participating by video conference. Accordingly, please be aware that other folks may be able to see you, and take care not to screen share your computer. Anything that you broadcast may be captured by the recording. All supporting material that have been provided members of this body are available on the town website unless otherwise noted. The public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda unless I noted otherwise. We are now turning to the second item on the agenda. But before I do so, permit me to convey some ground rules for effective and clear conduct of our business and to ensure accurate meeting minutes. I will introduce each speaker on the agenda. After they conclude their remarks, I will go down the line of members, inviting each by name to provide any comments, questions, or motions. Please hold until your name is called. Further, please remember to mute your phone or computer when you are not speaking. Please remember to speak clearly and in a way that helps generate accurate minutes. For any response, please wait until I yield the floor to you and state your name before speaking. If members wish to engage in colloquy with other members, please do so to myself, taking care to identify yourself. Finally, each vote taken in this meeting will be conducted by roll call vote. I will now move on to the second item of the agenda. That will be the approval of the minutes of October 22nd, 2020.
Hey, can I add one thing?
Sure.
It looks like we are experiencing just a small technical difficulty where when I can mute people, but I can't unmute people. It makes me send a request. So just be sure, I can mute people if we're having some feedback, but if you're going to be talking, you're going to have to unmute yourself for this meeting, it looks like.
Thank you. So I will need a motion to approve the minutes of October 22nd, 2020.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Motion to approve by Bob Gamer. Any second? Second by Jorge Sanchez Salazar. Any discussions? No discussion. Okay, so I'll go down the list of members to approve the minutes. Bob Gamer.
Approve.
Bill Graham.
I'm not sure. I'm getting audio but no visuals. What do I need to do? I'll approve the minutes, but I don't know what I need to do to be at the meeting.
You might need to turn, is there a green camera button at the bottom of your screen?
No.
It actually looks like you have a low bandwidth. It might, oh yeah, it says video will resume automatically when conditions improve.
Oh, okay. Well,
That must be something with your internet.
yeah.
Thank you. Donna Hopkins.
Approve.
Paul Pollack. I think Paul might be muted. Paul Pollack.
Approved?
Jorge Sanchez Salazar.
Approve.
Thank you. And I am approved. So the minutes of October 22nd, 2020 are approved as submitted. I will now move on to the third item on the agenda, which is the unity sign discussion. Donna Hopkins, please take it away.
There hasn't been a whole lot of action. It's been kind of slow. I just got one more request from, well, I think somebody from the North Shore Unitarian, the North Shore UU Church, just a couple wanted one. So I'm not sure. I thought they wanted to get a bunch of them and sell them. I'm not sure what this is where they're writing me directly.
I can speak to that.
Okay.
I made a pitch last night. We had a meeting,
Mhm.
and they are going to buy in. So I'm going to send a photograph of the sign, and they will sell them.
Okay, I'll talk to you later about this. I'm selling them. I'm not splitting it with them. But if they want to take it away and run with it, that, as a fundraiser, that's great. But I'll talk to you later about this, about that church. So we tried getting, Eileen tried to help me as well. We tried getting flyers sent out with the utilities, Danforth utilities. You probably have seen those when the bills come and they announce things going on in town. and they're booked through next December. So it's really hard to get those flyers in. And honestly, with the snow and the weather, we're thinking we might wait until spring and then really kick it again, and try and do a big promotion just through the media if we can, closer to springtime. Because right now, one of my signs fell and I couldn't even get into the ground. It was frozen, and that was before the snow that happened today. So, yeah, Robert.
Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, I think also we should contact businesses, it would be, after Christmas, after the rush is over, contact business.
Right. Back from somebody. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. So maybe we'll get up a subcommittee and see if we can try and get some help so it's not all falling on me. David Mills, you're here. If you want that box out of your garage, the town can put it in the basement. So if you'd like me to get that out for you, I can. You're muted.
Okay, I think I'm unmuted. I would love to have the box out of my garage only because it's hard to get in and out.
Right.
And the other thought that I had, if I may speak,
Sure, go ahead.
I wish I could get around better. I have difficulty walking, and I'm afraid of the snow, of falling. But there's probably 20 or 30 storefronts on Maple Street, High Street, and Elm Street. And if someone could take, 12 or 15 or 20 of the signs and go around to each of the restaurants and stores and say, would you put one of these in your window? I think it would be a really great showing to have, 20 or 30 signs in storefronts on Danvers Square. So we have the signs, and I don't know if anybody is up for doing that. I don't mind driving you around, but I really can't get in and out and do that stuff. So that's just something that I really wish we could do.
Okay.
Well, so those are great ideas. And like you said, Donna, I know Lila at the school was also working with the anti-discrimination group to see how they can sell some of those and distribute them. But they were also saying that ideally they can gear up now to start doing that maybe in February and March when we're going toward a much better weather. Because if you had the sign now, yeah, maybe you can put it at window front, but you can't even put it in the ground. So
Right.
let's just stay at it and continue. Thank you.
So Arlene, I'll get with you about when we can get those signs over to the basement.
Absolutely. Yep.
So I will now move on to the fourth item on the agenda, which is going to be the update from the MLK subcommittee. The MLK subcommittee had several meetings in preparation of the upcoming Martin Luther King holiday, which, like everything this year, we'll be having it virtually. Eileen, can you give us a quick update? So we
Sure. So we've had a couple meetings now, probably 3 or 4 meetings, and we've brought DCAT into the discussion, and we've been working closely with Lila Herod, who is the director of Danvers Cares with the high school. We also met with the education subcommittee last Friday to kind of bring the schools into the conversation. And essentially what we've done is we've planned a 1-hour virtual program. Everything will be pre-recorded, and DCAT will air it on January 18th. We're going to have 2 airings, one we think at 2 o'clock, and then again at 6 o'clock at night. And we're going to feature several pre-recorded speakers, as well as a lot of art from students and from the bumper sticker contest. And we have some music that we're going to be playing over them. We have some families from the schools that Dr. Dana works very closely with, that she's going to work on getting some pre-recorded messages to put into the program about what MLK Day means to them and Dr. King's legacy and how they see it in Danvers and how they feel included in Danvers. So we've got about an hour program planned. It's still in the works. Dee and I have drafted letters to send to Governor Baker and Congressman Moulton to invite them to pre-record a 5 to 7 minute speech that we can air. And Donna, I think, has reached out to Joan Lovely, and Bob is working with Sally Cairns. We're going to invite Steve Bartha, Dan Bennett. Am I forgetting anyone? Did I leave someone out there? I think that's all the speakers we've got lined up for now. Excuse me, Mike Powers.
Mike Powers and Dr. Dana.
And Dr. Dana, thank you. Dr. Dana and Mike Powers, who's a town meeting member, have all agreed to speak as well. So we're going to kind of, instead of having one keynote speaker, we're going to have we're thinking about 5 minutes per speaker, intermittent with students speaking and showing artwork and music and things like that. We're also working with the chorus to get some a cappella music pieces put together. I think we decided on maybe 2 pieces. And hopefully people, will be able to tune in on DCAT and just view it from the comfort of their own home this year, stay home and nice and cozy. And next year, hopefully we'll be able to get together and get back to our normal community gathering. But as far as the filming goes, our speakers can either pre-record a file and send it to DCAT, or they can make appointments at DCAT to go in and be filmed speaking in there. So that's kind of the gist of what we've got going on. We have several more meetings before we're completely put together, I'm sure, but we're in good shape about a month out. So.
Thank you for the update. I'm just going to go down the list of members and see if you have any questions or comments. Bob Gamer.
Last night at that meeting, I got the North Shore UU Church to put the link for the MLK event on their webpage, just to further our outreach. So I just thought I'd add that.
Thank you. That's great. Bill Graham, any comments or questions?
Bill, I think you're on mute.
No comment.
Oh, we got some feedback.
Okay, go ahead now, Bill.
No comment.
No comments.
Thank you. Donna,
When did DCAT say they needed the recordings by?
January 12th.
January 12th. Okay. Nothing else.
perfect, thank you. Paul Polak,
Paul, I think you're muted.
Is that better? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, Eileen gave an accurate account of our progress up to this point.
thank you. Jorge, any questions or comments?
I have no comments other than it sounds awesome. Thank you to the subcommittee. It's very creative.
Thank you. And we can also hear from our liaison for any comments or questions or suggestions. Eric Lane.
We're just happy with the collaboration with the schools and the artwork, and I think it'll be a great experience. And it sounds like a great way to do this in an alternate way during the COVID. So we're very excited about it.
Thank you. And David Mills.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I just want to say I'm so impressed with the enthusiasm of Eileen because so much of it falls on her shoulders in order to kind of coordinate it all. So it sounds great to me. And being indoors, we'll deal with it the way we've been dealing with 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 other events. I assume that Eileen is coordinating with the cable television people so that it's going to be able to be rerun on the website. So event. Thank you all for your input on this, and Eileen, you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Thank you, David. Eileen, I'm getting a message from viewer that there's some audio issues. There seems to be a background. I'm not sure if
I'm not hearing it on my end. It looks like everybody is on mute except for myself and you, Dave.
okay.
I'll keep an eye on it, and I'll just be sure to mute people as they stop talking. I'll mute myself as well. I wonder if that's it.
Okay.
We'll keep an eye on it.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, so that was it for the MLK subcommittee updates. Things are lining up for us to have another great celebration this year, despite the pandemic and the fact that we'll be doing it virtually. It will be like it'll be creative, and it'll be a great celebration again. I will now move on to the next item on the agenda. That's the 5th item on the agenda, which is the sticker contest finalists. I believe members of this committee have all received the 5 finalists from the bumper sticker contest subcommittee. I will also indicate that the finalists and their artwork was not part of the material that was available to the public, because we really want this work to be done anonymously. And so the members of this committee have received that, and we don't have any names attached to them. They're just numbers, and the names will only be revealed after the winner is decided. So Eileen, can you take it away and coordinate how we're gonna be having this decision made? I don't know if
Sure. So I've actually kind of set it up to do it very similarly to our first round judging. So we had 31 entries from the Danvers High School. It was open to all schools in the area, but we just happened to only get Danvers Public Schools entries. But we got 31, and our first committee was Donna, Bob, Bill, and then Lila Howard from the schools, and Nick Campion, who's the assistant director of recreation. We invited them all, Lila and Nick, to join us to pick our top 5. So the committee made their way through the artwork. It was very difficult. There were fantastic entries. And it was great to see the creativity of students in Danvers and what inclusion in the community means to them. So all of the entries will be posted on our website that we'll talk about a little later tonight, with all of the students attached, and some of them wrote short biographies themselves to put with it. So we'll have a gallery up. But we do need to pick one winner for the $500 prize. So I sent out the 5 top entries with a number attached to them, and it seems a little out of order, but it's the same numbers that I had them stick with the same numbers through all of the judging. So numbers 13, 15, 17, 19, and 20 were our top 5. And what I'm going to do is ask Dee to go down the list and have everyone pick their top 1 or 2 that they feel really strongly about. I'll mark them off, and we'll see, where we all fall and see if there's a consensus. And then we can discuss a little bit further.
Perfect. So I will start by Bob Gamer. Your top two. I'm sorry, Bob. I think you were muted.
Where'd it go?
You can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Kim, I'm looking at the web page, and my choices would be 2 and 3.
So they have the original. Are you talking about number 13 and 15?
Yes.
Okay.
Or sorry, 15 and 17?
I can't see the
So if we're looking at the original email I sent out, I'm not sure if you have that in front of you.
I'm just looking at the designs. You have 5 of them?
Yes.
Yep. And then they should each be labeled as entry number 13, entry number 15, 17, 19, and 20.
15 and 17.
I'm sorry, 17 and
17.
only 17?
Yeah, there's those 2.
Okay, what was the other one? I'm sorry, I have 17, but I didn't catch.
15.
Okay, perfect. Sorry, 15 and 17.
Now, Bob, just to clarify, is it 15 and 17 in that order? So 15 is your top choice and 17
Correct.
is your
Correct.
second top. Okay.
Okay.
Bill Graham,
And Bill, you'll have to unmute yourself.
My first choice is number 13, and I don't have a second choice at present.
thank you. Donna Hopkins,
Sorry, I had to unmute and it was on top of my screen. I think the ones I like best, God, I really like 3 of them. I think I like 19 and 20.
okay, was that 13 and 20?
19
19.
and 20.
Yeah, I'm keeping track too, just,
Okay, thank you.
you don't have to.
And Donna, just to clarify, 19 and 20, 19 is your top choice. Is that correct?
Probably.
Okay.
Okay.
Jorge Sanchez Salazar,
My top choice would be number 19. I love a good double entendre. And second choice would be number 17.
1917, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Paul Paula,
There you go.
Can you hear me?
Holly. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I can hear you now.
I was never on that committee. I did not see any copies, so I'm gonna just, I can't get involved with this, the voting.
They were emailed with the original email that I sent with the agenda.
Oh, I must have missed it then. I apologize.
Okay. Let me re-forward it.
You gonna re-forward it to me now?
Yep. I just gotta find it.
That might put me right out of this meeting, Eileen.
Oh, jeez.
That might put me right
Okay.
out of this meeting.
Uh,
I don't think,
It was December 15th at 11:41, Eileen, the offender.
I just forwarded it again.
you go ahead. I'm gonna go back and look and see if I've copied it. It may be in another area of my work area, okay?
Okay, I just sent it.
Okay, thank you. I'll try to get back to you.
Okay.
so now, I mean, I don't know procedurally.
Well,
do-
you would also pick your top 2, actually.
yes, but procedurally, Sally is running behind, and she sent me a text message of her choice. I don't know if she would join us before the vote, but Is that something that's acceptable, or she has to be present?
We can certainly take her preference in. We would not be able to vote for her. So if there was a tie, we couldn't say, oh, Sally said she liked this one, so this one wins. But we can take her preference and then we could come back for a vote later in the meeting if she's not here.
Okay, so her preference was 19 and 13.
19 and 13?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we'll wait for Dave is not with us tonight, correct?
Would David McKenna no?
Okay, and Charlie is not with us tonight. All right.
So my preference was number 13.
Okay. And did you have a second or no?
No, I did not.
Okay. So we'll just give Paul a minute.
Now, while we're waiting for Paul to get back to us with his choice, I know our liaisons are non-voting members, and I know we didn't want to ouster the artwork yet until we've selected the winner. But I'll be curious to know if Eric and David look at it and could tell us what their preferences are, even though they are not voting members. Eric, did you have a chance to review the material?
I did. Again, as a non-voting member, I like 9 would be my top choice. 13 would be my second choice.
Okay. So the good news is we have a trend so far.
And David?
Oh, you're on mute, David.
You're muted yet, David.
I think David might be having some issues on meeting himself.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
All right. My first preference is number 19. And my second preference, I just think 17 is brilliant. The trouble is the silver lettering. Lettering is not really
David,
otherwise.
sorry, David, we were trying to, as a respect to the artist, we did not want to discuss the how do you say, help me here, I know.
Anything specific about the artwork?
Yes.
Okay, well,
Just in case any of the artists were watching.
oh, all right. Well, number 19 and number 17.
Okay.
Thank you for listening.
Nineteen, 17. Okay.
All right, so we'll give Paul, we can always come back to this too, Dee. We don't, we could jump down to another agenda item if we need to.
Sure. That's probably a good idea. So, do you so far have the chart of everyone that has given their choices?
I do, yes.
Perfect. Thank you. So yes, we will come back to this after Paul have reviewed the entries, and so I'll now move on to the next item on the agenda. We will come back to the fifth item on the agenda. So I'll move on to the sixth item on the agenda, which is the social media subcommittee updates. Bob Gamer, you can take it away.
I don't know whether I have anything,
I'm fine to talk about this too if you'd prefer.
yeah.
Sure, go ahead, Eileen.
Okay. So I'm going to share my screen because I have some directions on how to. Did I do it? Can we share my screen? Can we see my screen? Oh, yep, that works. Here we go. Okay. For everyone watching at home, I do have some directions on how to get to the website that our committee's been working on. So hopefully everybody had a chance to look at the subcommittee, their work on the website over the past few weeks. But if you didn't, please go for it. Now I've got the directions up on the screen on how to see it. You can also scan it on your smartphone if you open your camera. So basically we have put together a huge website with links and resources. Actually, I'm going to put it up on the screen now because I can screen share. Give it 1 sec.
Pete, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Paul.
Are you waiting for the big decision, or you want to?
We will come back to it in a minute, Paul.
Okay.
We're talking about the social media subcommittee update, and then we will come back to item
All right.
5.
Thank you for your patience. I
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Sorry, my Wi-Fi is going a little slow today. I probably exceeded my bandwidth. Come on. Don't do this to me. Well, I'll start talking about it. Basically, we have put together a website that's a little bit more interactive and has a lot of subsections and resources. So this is our main page. Go on the Town of Danvers website. We put this picture up for now, but I would really love, maybe in the springtime to potentially get a photograph that maybe more is more related to our committee. If we wanted to do a group photograph, or maybe, seek out some photographs from students at the high school, maybe for something a little more on theme with the committee. But this is what we got for now. So if you scroll down, we've got a few different tabs. We've got in the news, where we pulled together all of the articles that the committee's appeared in over the last few years. The events, where we've got a list of our previous and upcoming events. And something I've started to do with Hanukkah, and that I'll continue to do with our future events, is that when you click on the event, it takes you to another page where we've posted updates on the event and some pictures and video and all of that, almost like an album, so people can watch the event later on. We've got a link to meeting minutes, where all of our minutes and agendas can be seen. Some information on the scholarship we offer every year. And then we've expanded on the support and assistance link that we had before. And I'm afraid to click on it because I feel like it's going to take forever for me to get to and from the pages again. But we've got some suggested reading, parent and teacher resources. So the children and young adult page is suggested reading for children and young adults, broken down by age group. And then there's also a few videos that we pulled together of Sesame Street, which does a great job of presenting on different holidays. So there's a great 2-minute clip of Sesame Street talks about Kwanzaa, they talk about Hanukkah, they talk about Rosh Hashanah, that can be watched on there. And then I also have the bumper sticker gallery, where eventually our full gallery of bumper sticker entries will go. So if I click on that, for now it just says, come back to this page to see all of the entries received and read about the artists. It's got our little flyer. But I would encourage you to kind of click around if you haven't done so already. So these are our ongoing events. We've got information about the lawn signs. I've linked to our past events. So the Pride flag raising, our last year's MLK Day. If you click on virtual menorah lighting, we will be graced by the Gammer on the front page in a moment. We've got Bob and Ann Gamer here, Dee and his nephew Jerry over here, some pictures from the light. Little bit of information about it. People can watch the video of the first night of concert with Jerry. Added some closed captioning, which hopefully I'll be able to do on some more of our videos as they become available. And that's about it. So this website is going to kind of be a continuous work in progress. One of the things I would really love to encourage committee members to do is send in suggestions for the suggested reading section, because we have books here, but it can always be expanded upon. We've got some articles, some movie suggestions. And then one of the final things that we kind of brainstormed about at our last meeting that I'd really love to do is start a monthly newsletter that we could post online, so kind of a blog newsletter. And I think I did a little mock-up of that here. Is this? Yes. To give an idea of what it could look like. Oh, hang on one second. How many pages? So we had this idea, we could do a section from the chair, so Dee could write just a little blurb every month. I put in a section for maybe community stories, where members of the community could write in and be featured. A bit about happening this month. So this would be dates and holidays for January. Student Says, which I thought would be great to have maybe students from the anti-racism task force over at the high school maybe write just a short column every month for us. Read All About It, where we thought we could feature a particular book or article each month. We had talked about Bob Gammer writing that, and I wanted to call it Bob's book, but then I realized that Read All About It might be a better name. Spotlight on Service. I thought maybe we could feature a local charity every month, and that is consistent with the mission and values of our committee. This month in history, and then this little blurb is just who we are, which has our mission statement and lists all of the members. So this is a very early rough draft, and I don't even know that it would be ready to go in January. But I think if we could get something like this going, we can have a lot of information in one place. And maybe we make a social media post for Jen to post for us once a month that pushes, hey, our newsletter's up. Have you read it yet? And we have a lot of information in one place. That might be a really effective way to communicate with people. So I know that was a lot of information and I talk really fast, but we'd love to hear your suggestions, comments, anything.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you, Arlene. That's great. Any comments, suggestions? I will go down the list of members for any comments. Bob Gamer?
yeah. Regarding that newsletter, it's a great vehicle to use, to show that we're keeping up to date, we're ongoing, there are activities, and it's not going to take much. I mean, maybe a couple of minutes to write the blurb, but that's the way the members will find out what's what regarding where we're going, what our direction is. So it's wonderful. And as for the web page as a whole, I mean, it's just a superlative. I mean, it really puts us where we need to be as far as outreach.
Thank you. Graham?
Oh, I think you're Bill.
I thought I unmuted myself. Okay. I said, you're off to a great start, and I think we all need to do our share of contributing so that we can have an active newspaper every week, every month.
Thank you. Jorge Sanchez Salazar.
I think it looks awesome so far. I mean, it's great how it's come together and so little time. Great job.
Thank you. Donna Hopkins. I think Donna is still muted.
Sorry about that. No, I don't really have anything to add. I think I might have a few more books for you, Eileen, coming up soon. I'd love to see if we could get more movies or things that kids can watch. No, I think it's really good. I think you did a great job, Eileen. Thank you.
Thank you. Todd Polak, any comments about the social media subcommittee update? Go ahead, Paul.
Can you hear me, Dee?
Yes, I can.
Okay, yes. I think it's a great effort on Eileen's part, and of interest to me, especially was the potential for the reading list and the film and movie list. Very much interested in and look forward to it. But thank you, Eileen.
Thank you. Eric Crane, any comments or questions?
I love the look. I think the newsletter is a great idea, and I compliment the amount of information that's already on the site. So I think that's off to a great start. So kudos to the whole team that's working on that.
Thank you. David Mills.
Can you, I guess I'm all right, if you can hear me. I didn't realize that we were undertaking the website redesign and a newsletter. I think it's great. I'm particularly interested in coordinating with Eileen and this committee with various LGBT publications, news reports, and recommendations for films, movies, Netflix, and all that are sensitive to the LGBT issues. And while I have you all, this afternoon I watched Prom, P-R-O-M, a new Netflix movie that has just come out. It is absolutely precious. I tried 3 different times too. It's about a little girl who wanted to go to her senior prom with her girlfriend, but it is a beautiful musical and it should be Broadway. So the name is Prom, and if we were putting the newsletter together, I do a little squib about Prom and recommend it to everybody. Thanks for listening.
Thank you. Thank you for your comments and feedback. I mean, I personally love the website. I told you already, Eileen. It's clean. Love the tabs. And as I said during our subcommittee meeting, I've always wondered, how do we reach more people? We need greater participation from people in the town. We don't want this committee to be the one of 12 people gathering together once a month and tapping themselves on the back and saying we're doing a great job. I believe that this will be a great way to reach out to the people in the town, get feedback, get their involvement, and kind of gauge what we will consider as success. Are we doing a good job? And I think, informing the community and getting feedback from them through the website and the social media would be a great way to do it. I said the other day during the subcommittee meeting, we at this committee started to work on a flag policy over 6 months ago. I don't think anybody in this town knew that, other than maybe us. So with all the controversies that we had, for example, if people in the town knew that this committee was working on such a policy, we may have been the first people to tackle the issue and maybe resolve it before it becomes something else. So I believe that communicating with the people in the town will be a great way for us to stay in touch and make sure that we are representing them. So thank you so much, Eileen, for all that great work, and looking forward to getting it going. Thank you. I will now go back to the 5th item on the agenda. We have Paul back. Can you hear me? Yes. So Paul, we will go back to the bumper sticker contest, which was the 5th item on the agenda. Do you have your selection?
Yes, I do. Number 13 is my first choice, and number 19 is my second choice.
Okay.
13 and 19. So Eileen, can you give us a tally?
I can. So if we are, 13 and 19 are our top two candidates out of 5. 3 people identified 13 as their first choice, and 1 person as their second choice, and 4 people identified number 19 as their first choice. So let's see. Let me just make sure I've got all my tallies correctly. David McKenna's not here.
Oh, I see Sally.
Sally's here, perfect. So those are our number 13 and number 19. What we can do is we can call for a vote to vote between the two. Like I said, it was the number 19 was the top choice for 4 people, and 13 was the top choice for 3 people, and the second choice for 1 person. So it's kind of, oh, and then I'll just review one more time that Eric expressed support for both 13 and 19. David expressed support for 19 and 17. So just as a reminder, because I know a couple people have been in and out, while we're voting, we just don't want to mention anything specific about the artwork necessarily, anything that could be identified, because we don't know if students are watching. We just want to be kind of conscious of sort of the vulnerability that comes with doing artwork like this. So, Allie, sorry, just saw you there. So with that, I mean, we could certainly call out a number and vote. Do you have any other suggested ways to do it by any chance?
Sure, but before we do, Sally, Sally, can you hear me?
I can.
Yes. So we're discussing item number 5 on the agenda.
Right.
And I did get your message. I'm glad you're here, so you can vote. I could relay your message from the text, but I could not vote for you. So it appears that from your text, 19 and 13 were kind of your 2 choices.
So I'm hoping, I sent you and I think maybe Bob a text message. I did exactly what Eileen has just asked us not to do. I described
Which
by the art.
I did not do that. I did not do that when I gave you a choice. I did not.
Sorry. So can we figure out what numbers I was referring to? I can't.
You were referring to number 19 and number 13.
Okay.
I'll describe it for Sally just so she knows which number. Because, and I'm going to use very generic terms because we got several entries of similar designs. Sally, the one with the hands is number 13.
There are 3 of them that. No, hang on. Let me just look. It's not on the website, is it? It's something else that you sent us.
Oh, yes, it's in an email. Yep. Why don't I forward it to you so it's at the top here?
I'm sorry, everybody. I had to be on this It was actually great. It was a Zoom call with all human services care workers.
Okay.
Sally, I just forwarded it, so it should be at the top of your inbox.
Okay, hang on.
Okay. So whilst I is reviewing that, I think the way so we're down to 19 and 13. So do I just call each number, or does each member just decide between those two, and the majority will be the winner? So I can
I
go.
think that's maybe the best way to do it. If you want to call on each person and they can say whether or not they vote for which they vote for, and I can mark it down, unless anybody has an idea that maybe we're missing.
I think I'll do that.
Okay.
Okay. So members, when I call on your name, please let us know if you're choosing 19 or 30. I'll
But it's just going to keep everyone on mute until then, so we don't get feedback.
Okay. And when I call on someone's name, can you unmute them, Eileen?
I can send them a request to unmute, but
Okay.
they'll have to actually hit unmute.
So I'm gonna start by Bob Gilmer. I'm sorry, what was that, Bob?
13.
13. Thank you. Bill Graham.
13.
Okay.
Donna Hopkins.
I'm sorry, 19.
Jorge Sanchez Salazar.
19.
Paul Pollack.
13.
Sally Cairns.
Oh, you're on mute, Sally.
So I just wanted to clarify. We're choosing one. What will become of all the others that are not chosen? Will they be able to be turned into something?
Yes, we do have, and we reviewed this earlier. We do have actually a gallery. We do have a gallery of all the entries that will go live as soon as the winner is announced. And we will also be using those artwork during our MLK event. And the subcommittee also discussed sending all the participants a letter to thank them for the work, and if possible, a certificate of participation from this committee, from the Human Rights and Inclusion Committee.
Okay, so we're just voting for one.
Mm-hmm.
That's correct.
Okie doke.
Not easy, not easy, believe me.
Not
I've been looking at them for a long time, and any one of these could have been the one, and it's not easy.
Mm-hmm.
So Sally, what's your
Good,
vote?
13. Oh no, I'm sorry, 13. Yep, I'm sticking, yep.
Okay.
I'm sorry, what was that?
She said 13.
13, okay. Perfect. And I am 13 as well.
13?
Yes.
Okay. Is that everybody? It looks like it. Okay, so number 13 is our winner. Should I announce the name? So our plan was to invite the winner to our next meeting to formally announce. But I could also share their name and who they are now. I don't know what the board wants to do.
Yep, Dale.
To select the second and the third yet? Well, second's obvious, 19, I think, in our voting.
Well, we don't have second or third place prizes necessarily.
You've had offers to pay for second and third places, I believe. But we hadn't set an exact amount.
Okay, I think it. Where is this feedback coming from?
There's some audio feedback. I'm getting message that there's some audio feedback coming. I'm not sure from where. It's very hard
I figured it out. I'm sorry. I think I got it now. Okay.
Okay, I think it's better now. Okay, so Bill, were you saying that we had decided to have a second and third? I think we have no audio from here.
I think we've lost Bill's audio.
I thought we made a decision to have 3 places at our last full meeting.
Oh, okay. I see the audio's coming from Bill's, and I think that's making it hard to hear. So I think what Bill is saying is that we had previously discussed having a second and third place winner and having there be cash prizes. I don't believe the Friends ever approved that money, but I know a couple members of the had expressed that they would be willing to put up money as a prize. I don't know how the board feels about that necessarily. Oh, am I on mute?
We never set amounts for what second and third place would be.
Okay.
We said
So,
we didn't say how much they would be worth. Obviously, we were talking like maybe 200 and 100 second and third. But it wasn't an exact amount voted on ever.
Bill, I'm having trouble hearing you with all the feedback. All I'm getting is a ringing noise. Is anyone else getting that?
Yes, we definitely. It's very difficult to.
Yeah, if I mute Bill, it goes away. But if he's off mute, and I can't understand what he's saying.
Can he write in
Sorry.
the chat?
Yeah, definitely.
Bill, why don't you try and write it in the chat on the right?
Eileen, and actually Dee, I don't mean to be cranky. I have watched other community meetings in other towns on Zoom. They don't have the persistent audio horror that accompanies virtually every WebEx meeting. And I'm saying it publicly on this meeting, hoping that someone will perhaps reevaluate. You can see them on VCAT, Rowley, Middleton, can hear them clear as bell. And this weirdness is always part of it. I think perhaps this discussion was impeded by the tech difficulties back, as you referred to, Eileen, when we thought maybe the Friends, or the discussion about whether we would have second and third, thumbs up. I want to register my frustration with WebEx. Okay, thank you. I'll mute.
Okay, so Bill has written in the chat, he says, I believe we previously voted to have a second and third places, but we did not ever approve an amount. I couldn't find a record in the minutes of us voting for a second or third place. It's possible that I missed it in the minutes, but I don't have a vote happening.
What I would suggest is, since we are talking about the bumper sticker now, it appears that number 19 will be the second place, since that was the runner-up.
Yes.
And we can look at the tally and see if there was an obvious third place from the way people voted. And if the Friends or anonymous donor decide to give something to the second or third place, we already have that. So we don't have to convene another meeting just to vote on the second or third place. So I will call down the list of members if everybody agrees that number 19 will be the second or the runner-up. I don't know how you call that. So let me just go down the list of numbers, and then Eileen, if you can look at the tally, I think the third place will be 17 from the previous vote.
That's what I'm showing as well.
Okay. So Bob Gamer, we have 19 as the second place and 17 as the third place.
Bob, you're on mute.
I think Bob is still muted.
There we go.
Yes, those, I accept those are good.
Perfect. Thank you. Paul Polak.
Yes, it's obvious. 19 was the second choice, and I believe 17 was the third.
Perfect. And Jorge Sanchez Salazar.
Yes, that's fine with me.
Donna Hopkins.
That's fine with me as well.
Sally Karen.
She's giving.
She's giving me a thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
I hear you. Thank you. And then Bill Graham.
You got a thumbs up from Bill.
Perfect. Thank you. And I approve as well. So we do have 13 as our first choice, 19 as our second choice, and 17 as the third choice. So in the event that the Friends or someone decide to have something for the second and third choice, we already have that lined up.
Okay. So then we actually don't have a quorum for the Friends meeting this evening. It was an agenda item we had put at the end of our agenda. So it sounds like the Friends would have to have a special meeting if they wanted to. Oh, I'm sorry, Sally.
Only the Friends vote is required only for the funds that the Friends raise. We remember, we also have a small but very appreciated appropriation through the town and town meeting. So it might well be that the funds don't need approval by the Friends Committee because they're, we can use our town funds first. I think this would be something that is very, it's a program of the committee. It's not something that's coordinated with other entities. I think it would be a perfectly reasonable use of the appropriation that we have received. Just putting that out there. Simplify or streamline things if we don't have to go through a friend's approval process.
Okay.
Okay, good point. Thanks. So Sally, in that same line of thought, for the second and third choice, the first choice obviously was 500 cash prize from the anonymous donor. For the second and third choice, what would you suggest if we had to?
I don't do these things. I don't know, 100 and 200?
I'm sorry, what was the first number?
I don't know, so 500 for first place and
200 for the second and the third?
something like that, I guess.
Bill Graham is suggesting 200 for second place, 100 for third. And actually, just while I've got the mic for a second, Bill, I got an email from DCAT. They said because you're open on 2 platforms, that's what's causing the feedback. So if you have the meeting open in a phone or an iPad or computer, in addition to what you're using, that's what's causing the feedback.
But now he's muted.
My first entry didn't work. I didn't get any pictures. I couldn't tell anything. And I don't know how to close out one and not the other.
Okay.
I tried figuring out how to close out that first one. It didn't work. And
I think Paul has a suggestion.
Yes, Paul.
Can you hear me, Dee?
Yes, I can.
I certainly don't have a suggestion regarding Bill's problem. Guarantee you that. And the other thing I want to say is that I couldn't agree more with Sally. I've never seen a system like this in my life. I watched the Tuesday night selectmen's meeting. Tuesday night selectmen's meeting was a disaster.
Yeah.
A disaster if you're trying to follow it. But let's move on. I have a question, and I'm going to rely on the members, and maybe I'm wrong. Sally and I are both on FinCom, and my understanding about the allocation that we get from town was to help us with the Martin Luther King event, because we do have expenses, obviously, and it took the pressure off of us to fundraise. Not that it took all the pressure off, but we do have to do a lot of fundraising. We said that, I think at one time, maybe you can correct me, Sally, if I'm wrong, but I thought we said we wouldn't use any of the town appropriated money for scholarships. The scholarships would be awarded through our fundraising effort. This is not a scholarship, but it also is an award, and we have an ample budget this year. So I don't see any reason why whatever we decide to give as a first, second, or third award can't come out of our present budget, because we're not spending any money this year.
That's what I
We
think.
would spend normally on the Martin Luther King event. So I don't think that there should be any. We shouldn't have to take the money from the town this year, and perhaps maybe at the end of the fiscal year that money would go back to the town. And I'm not sure. Sally, it could go back as free cash. I don't know where. I may be wrong on that one, but we don't have to get into that yet. So that was just my thought. But I don't think there's any problem with offering 3 awards, and I don't see any problem getting that money from our present amount that's in our kitty, so to say. So I'll leave it at that.
Okay. Thank you, Paul. And it was my understanding that we had decided as a committee not to use the town allocation for scholarship. It wasn't, I don't think it was, I don't know, I'm still getting some feedback.
You broke up on me again, D. It's the one.
I don't think it was a line item on the allocation itself. I think it was us as a committee that said that we would like to keep that for MLK.
I don't.
Your point is well taken. We definitely can go forward with approving this the second and the third choice. I think the feedback is getting worse. Let me see.
It appears that there are two open for HR department too. The HR department might be on 2 platforms.
Eric, say that again.
If the issue is 2 platforms with the same person, HR department is showing up twice. I can see Eileen.
Yeah, I have to have it open. I have
Ah,
to have it open on there. But I only have one microphone attached. So I just messaged Ben and asked if he has a text message I can send him to see if we can do anything about the feedback. But I'm gonna wait to hear back from him because DCAT is working on it.
Okay. Paul, you have another question?
Can you hear me, D?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I would like to go back to what Sally mentioned as far, or we were talking at one point about a second and third award and the amount. I think we were all in agreement as to $500 for the first amount, and
Yes.
we're trying to come up with a second, which would, I'm not sure what Sally said, 200 and 100. If was that correct, Sally? Because I would agree with any of that. That doesn't make any, I don't have a problem with that at all. We just have to set an amount. Thank you.
Bill suggested 200 for second place, 100 for third place,
That's fine by me.
or 200 for each one. I don't know how people do these things. Does anyone else have experience with prizes like this?
Well, if you're going to, can you hear me, D?
Yes.
If you're going, I mean, I look at it this way: if you just want to, it's either one of 2 ways. You award a second and a third place, so that would be the difference, the amount of money. If you just want to, I don't know, we could say honorable mention. Nowadays, we don't want to offend anybody, so and we're trying to give everyone recognition. So we either make it 150 and 150 for second and second and second. So I don't know. We're going to tie ourselves in the knots.
Right.
Okay. I would suggest that, I mean, like I said earlier, these artwork were all great work. I would suggest that we have the winner, which is the 500 cash prize. And the other 2 would be $200 each.
And don't mention second and third.
That's correct.
That's okay with me.
That would be my suggestion. Yes, Sally, go ahead.
How many total entries were there?
31.
Oh. That's wonderful. Okay.
Don't suggest $100 a piece, Sally.
I was going to say a gift card for something, but no, that's too many.
I mean, and what we discussed maybe before you got on the meeting side was we were going to send them a thank you letter and possibly have a certificate of participation, which from a dad who has kids who are still going to school, it could be a great thing for them to have a nice note from this committee.
Thanking them for their work.
For thanking them for their work and what they're doing as a testament to their inclusion attitude. So that's what everyone that participate will get at a minimum. Okay,
good.
Perfect. So I'm going to go ahead. So we vote on this second and third prize. I will call the names. I'll go down the list of members so we can wrap this up. Bob Gamer.
D.
Yes.
Accept.
Okay, perfect. Paul Polak,
Well,
I think I lost Paul audio. Donna Hopkins,
No, I accept.
Sally Cairns,
I really don't like the cash prizes at all. So I'm going to abstain.
abstain, so Jorge Sanchez Salazar,
It's fine by me. I accept.
Bill Graham,
Accept.
and did we get Paul back?
Here he is.
I think Paul is back.
He has to be unmuted.
am I all set now?
Yes.
Okay, my question was, are we voting on 200 and 200 for second
Yeah,
and third?
that's correct.
Okay, yes, I agree. Okay.
Okay, perfect. And then I agree as well. So we will have the winner, and then the other two will get $200 each, and we will be I'll be working with Eileen on the thank you letter and the certificate of participation for all the participants. Yes, Eileen.
So Dee, we had planned to invite the winner, the first place winner, to our meeting on the 21st. Would we like to invite all three now? Would we just still like to invite just first place?
Well, I Sally, you had a question? I think she's muted.
I was just going to say, if it's going to be a Zoom, so perhaps they could all be invited. Maybe maybe 5 would attend. I don't know. Are you going to give out a $500 check at this meeting? Is that what would happen?
No, it would just be to announce them and thank them officially,
Mm-hmm.
this committee, for their hard work and for being the one that for being the winner.
So what I'm asking is, would the board like to invite just the first place winner or the first, second, and third place winners during to be like formally announced?
Or the 5 finalists.
No.
Oh. Then I'd say just first.
I think Donna had signaled all three. Why don't I invite all three?
Well, let's put it this way: that doesn't require a vote from this committee.
No, it's just
So
I'm wondering what the board would prefer.
When we set up the agenda, then if someone has suggestions or any ideas to how we can proceed, they can either let me know or let you know and you let me know. But we can decide that when we set up the agenda for the next meeting, if we get it on the first one or the three of them.
Sure, sounds good.
Okay, perfect.
Would you like me to announce their names formally now, or just wait until the meeting?
I haven't given it any thought. What does the committee think?
I'm curious.
I can call the artist tomorrow too to officially let them know. But let me pull up their names now, and I'll just.
Remember now, we are live on TV.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, not that that's a reason not to announce their names, but we haven't thought this out at all. I'm a little hesitant at this point. One other thing as a sidebar, would this be something that we could announce, or should we wait or not wait at the Martin Luther King event?
We could do that too.
I mean, it is an award, and it doesn't have to take a lot of time. It wouldn't take more than a minute or two.
Yeah, Eileen, why don't we announce that at the MLK? Because the MLK is before our Monday meeting anyway, so
Okay, sounds good.
perfect. Thank you. And apologize for people at home for the technical difficulties. We're trying here is the okay. I will now move on to the seventh item on the agenda, which is the liaison update. I will turn it on to Eric Crane.
Thanks, Steve. We did have our education subcommittee meeting, which included Lila from the Davis Cares, as well as Max Lead, who is our student representative of the school committee and also runs the non-discrimination group at the high school and does a really fantastic job of it. So we talked about the preparation for the Martin Luther King event. And at the same time, we're also continuing to work from a curriculum standpoint and also with what Max is doing with his anti-discrimination group, which apparently is his calls are very well attended by people. And as I say, we're trying to attack, any issues of racism, discrimination, et cetera, really right at the source and do as much as we can to make sure we have a welcoming atmosphere in our public schools for everybody. You all know that there's an investigation ongoing that touches on some areas as well. I can't say much about the investigation other than that it is proceeding, I think, at a good pace, and I expect that it won't be too long before we have some results or a report. Now, we're not going to be able to share any private information, but I'm hoping that if we identify areas where we can improve in terms of what we're doing to support students, identify issues, and again, create the proper atmosphere in our schools, I'm hopeful that this will help us very much. The other thing, of course, is that as the public, I think, mostly knows, we did decide to go full remote until returning on Monday, January 11th. So all classes will be remote starting this Tuesday. It started on Tuesday. It will go until the 11th will be the first day back. It's basically driven by the fact that we are seeing now, we're getting reports of probably 1 to 2 cases a day of someone who is in the schools. That does not mean that there is a spread within the schools, but more students are having to quarantine. And in particular, we're having a lot of staff who are quarantining. Our absentee rate among teachers is much higher than in typical years because of this fact. And we've had to try and plug and fill so many holes at a time when there are not that many available substitutes. So between the Board of Health, Mark came to our meeting on Monday and expressed a great deal of concern about the growth of the virus in the town itself. So we put all of those together. We felt it was best to give everybody sort of a breather, take a step back for a brief period of time, and then hopefully come back in January having seeing better results. And anyone who's had to quarantine will have to quarantine. I must admit, personally, I had some concerns with the Christmas break. We all know that despite so much encouragement from all levels of government, practically begging people not to get together for Thanksgiving and not to travel, people did it anyway, and that has contributed to a community spread. And with Christmas and New Year's coming back to back, it's hard to believe that that doesn't again, create a situation rife for the possibility of additional spread. By going until the 11th, by staying out until the 11th, we'll hopefully be able to see that anybody who might have been infected during that time has been quarantined properly. So it was a tough decision. I know that a lot of parents in Danvers are unhappy with us right now. And, I get that. I accept that. We are doing what we think is best for the students, staff, and community at this time. That's my update.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you very much. David Mills, any updates from the select board?
I don't think there's much to report, except the town manager report to the selectmen that the welcoming committee that you and Donna are members of had, I guess, a first meeting, which he described as very, very productive. And nothing about the actual deliberations of that committee are going to be public. He didn't disclose anything, but if you or Donna wanted to just give your thumbs up as to how you feel it's going, that would be interesting. But otherwise, we had nothing from the board or town manager.
Thank you. Okay, we will now move on to the 8th item on the agenda, which is the recognition of multi-faith holidays. With this being our last meeting for 2020, I would like to take a moment to wish Denver's community a very happy and healthy new year. I also like to invite the committee and residents watching at home to take a moment to appreciate the diverse community we have in Denver by acknowledging the following upcoming holidays. On December 8th, the Buddhist faith celebrates Bochi Day. I'm probably mispronouncing it. Forgive me. From December 10 to the 18th, the Jewish faith celebrate Hanukkah, and we do have our beautiful menorah by the library pavilion. Thank you to all the volunteers who have been going there every night to light the menorah. Yes, Eileen.
And thank you to the rogue resident who sometimes lit it before the volunteers could get there. We found it lit a few nights. Oh, I think Sally had something.
Yes, Sally.
Oh.
You're muted, Sally.
Sorry. I know, mute is not my usual mode. I want to give a shout out. There were members of the committee who lit it every night. And there was Julie Curtis, who very nicely, not a member of the committee, and she went down and took a very nice photograph. I have to say, the rogue person who saw fit on their own to go and do it, we need to figure out how not to have that happen another time, because that was a problem. That was confusing for people, and to get there, someone has made the, carved out the time, and then someone, I don't know how or why that happened. I thought we were we were organized. We had a whole schedule. So, but a special shout out to Julie Curtis, because she's a non-committee member, but one year she did it every single night without being asked, because we hadn't thought to line someone up. So I just wanted to give a shout out to Julie in particular.
Thank you. On December 20th, the pagan faith celebrates Yule, or winter solstice. I think that's what it's called. On December 25th, the Christian faith celebrates Christmas Day. On December 26th, the Zoroastrian faith celebrates Zortos on Diso. And from December 26th to January 1st, Kwanzaa is celebrated. So once again, happy and healthy New Year and happy holidays to all our brothers and sisters from Denver. I will now move on to the last item on the agenda, which is new business. I don't know, do I just go down the list of members, or someone can wave if they have a new business item and I'll call on them? Hopefully I can see everyone here. Okay, no new business. I will just say that, as David said earlier, we had our first meeting with the town manager and all the stake, a bunch of other people about what happened in our town last summer. It was a very productive meeting. It was open. There were some really raw discussions, and it was eye-opening to see people from different angles really speak openly, not only about their feelings, but about the facts. And the consensus seems to be that we are more, at least from my observation, sitting together and talking is key. Communication is going to be very, very important, and listening to the other person and not just being dismissive will be key. And it was a very productive meeting. It was a very productive meeting. I was really amazed by how open everybody was in their thought process. And as we go forward, I'm sure the town manager will be updating the select board and whatever information comes. It was really an introductory meeting just to get to know each other. But as we go forward, we will update you continuously. On that, if there's no other item, I will take a motion to adjourn.
So move.
I'm sorry, was that Donna who made the motion? And then second by Bill? Okay.
That's what I saw.
Okay, perfect. So I'll call down the list of members to vote so we can adjourn. Bob Gamer,
Approve.
uh, Sally Cairns,
I approve, but I also just put an item in the chat. There's someone who wanted to join the committee, and I had occasion to bump into this person again. And I just want to underscore this person's interest in joining. And yes, I'll approve the motion.
thank you. Jorge Salazar,
I approve.
Bill Graham,
Approve.
and I approve. So the meeting adjourned. My apologies again for people at home for the technical difficulties. Happy holidays, everyone. Happy New Year's, and see you all in 2021.